just rubbing their little back scrunch all over it, then make sure that you don't have any carpets down because they're gonna rub themselves on it.
When you were young, did you have a pet? More than likely you did at one point or another. Whether it was a cat, a dog, a hamster, gerbil, or maybe a fish of some kind, basic animals are great pets. That's why a lot of people get them, because they know they can be taken care of easily and not have a lot of major issues. But some people, well, they want to go bigger. They want to go more exotic, and some straight up want to have more dangerous kinds of house guests. So allow us to show you the most dangerous animals kept as pets. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. 8. Skunk. Skunks are a creature that are very much feared throughout the world. The reason for that is their glands are called mercaptan, and thus stink wildly as a result when expelled upon you and other unsuspecting people. And yet, despite that rational fear, skunks can be your pet. And in fact, there are even pet stores in places like the United States, Canada, Germany, Italy, and more that allow you to have them as pets. Part of the reason for this is that they have their stink gland removed when they're young, so you don't have to worry about getting sprayed by your pet. What may surprise you is the act of bringing skunks as pets has been around for hundreds of years. The Native Americans would bring in skunks as domesticated pets to help them kill rodents. While that's all well and good, it should be noted that skunks can be a handful to raise. They require a lot of food and have to be handled properly, else cause problems when they become adults. So you have to put in a lot of work to make this pet a pet. You've been warned.
Able to see my skunks running around in it, which is really
7. Lion. Having a lion is a dream pet for many. But it's hard to do this and is very illegal in places like the United States. But in places like the United Arab Emirates, you can get them. Humaid Abu Quash, a billionaire playboy, got a lion as a pet for a personal zoo that he has at his home. The problem here though is that while there are cases of lions being raised as pets to a certain extent, they're still wild animals. They've been known to lash out if things go wrong. Plus, they're big creatures, so it's not easy to contain them, but people still try to get them.
Is communication through vocalism, or however you call it, like through certain sounds they...
6. Hippopotamus. Hippopotamus are one of the most deceptively dangerous animals in the world. They may look fat and slow, but they can run in short bursts of 20 miles per hour, and have a bite strength that can crush the human body, and have crushed and flipped boats without much effort. Plus, they can be very aggressive if they think you are a threat to them or their families. They shouldn't be pets, unless they're like Jessica. Jessica was found by Tony and Shirley Joubert in South Africa. They were on their property in the area when they noticed a small hippo being in trouble on a nearby riverbank. They saved her and then took care of her themselves. By the time she was a full grown-up hippo, Jessica was widely considered one of the kindest and most docile hippopotamuses in the world today. So much so that she has a website dedicated to her, as well as having her own fan club. A heartwarming tale. One problem, it's the exception and not the rule. Case in point, another man in Africa had a hippo that he felt he could control, and that hippo one day killed him by biting him in two. Like we said, deceptively dangerous. 5. Grizzly bear. Grizzly bears are a species that you know are dangerous, and there are plenty of people who have stories of grizzly bears hurting them, chasing them, and so on. But for Casey Anderson, he claims that one of his best friends he has ever had in his life is a pet grizzly bear named Brutus. Casey found Brutus the bear at a wildlife park, one that was overcrowded, and so they were going to put Brutus down as a result. Casey stopped that from happening and raised Brutus himself, as the bear was only 5 months old at the time. Wanting to make sure Brutus was one that lived in a proper setting, he opened the Grizzly Bear Rescue and Education Sanctuary in Bozeman, Montana in 2004. The two developed a very personal and close bond, one that even led Casey to having Brutus as the best man at his wedding, and even getting to be on Oprah in 2009. What's more, as he raised him, Casey noted that Brutus could not just understand emotions of humans, but also feel some of the same ones as well, including pain, sadness, joy, and more. Like Jessica the hippo, this is a touching story. But also like Jessica, this was an exception, not the rule. Grizzly bears have killed scores of humans for a variety of reasons. So don't listen to this story and think that it's something that can happen to anyone. It's not.
We've been together for 13 years, have grown up together.
4. Alligator. At one point in time, alligators were a common pet in households, especially as pets for kids. But eventually, people got smart and thus made it so you had to have certain things in order to truly raise such a creature. Such in the case with Mary Thorne and her alligator that she calls Rambo. Yes, Rambo. Mary rescued Rambo and brought him to her property in Florida. As the law states, Mary got a permit to ensure she could have Rambo on her property. Since then, they grew to be quite close, to the extent that Mary would dress up Rambo in a wide variety of clothes as well as riding on ATVs and motorcycles. Rambo also eats at the dinner table with Mary, and even gets along with her other pets. Further denouncing the scary nature of the gator, she trained Rambo to keep its mouth shut when humans are around. These two have been together for over 15 years, and that shows that you can make a gator friendly. Though, we wouldn't want to put that to the test too much if you get our drift.
I've never say no to an animal that's in need. I had to invent ways to take care of these gators.
3. Polar bear. Polar bears aren't something you see much of in modern life, but they are rather special creatures. They are known to attack humans and kill without issue. However, when it comes to Mark Dumas and his polar bear Aggie, that hasn't happened. Mark and his wife Dawn own and run Beyond Just Bears in Canada. And it's there you'll find their pet polar bear Aggie, who not only loves them, but allows Mark to swim with her, and even purrs when Mark pets her. They've been together 20 plus years, and nothing bad has happened to Mark. Mark notes that he's had Aggie her whole life. Not only is Aggie kind to Mark and Dawn, but she's also been trained so that she can perform and even act in commercials. 2. Tiger. Legendary and infamous boxer Floyd Money Mayweather has a pet tiger. Because of course he does. He's Money Mayweather, and he does what he wants, including wanting to have a pet tiger that he can put on a leash to show off to his friends. But the thing is, tigers are not just big, they're dangerous, and they cannot be fully controlled in the minds of many. This was proven by Floyd one time in a stay in Vegas. He had his pet tiger with him in a hotel room, and when things started to get a little rowdy via the people around, the tiger wanted to walk around the room, but Floyd wouldn't let that happen, which got the tiger even more forceful until things finally quieted down. Not surprisingly, when footage of this got out, people wanted Floyd to release the tiger, but he didn't. Because of course he didn't. He's Money Mayweather. Though not unlike his mouth, that tiger will likely get him in more trouble as he continues to have it.
That thing coming at you right there. That thing coming at you for real.
1. Bobcat. At this point, you might think that all these scary pet stories have happy endings and responsible owners and loving pet animals. Well, not exactly. Meet Jenny Fine and her bobcat called Rocky. Yes, Rocky. Rocky was a 38-pound bobcat that Jenny liked to treat like a child in certain ways in her home in New Jersey. But her key flaw was that she let the bobcat roam free in her local area Stanford Township. The people of the town didn't like that, as you might expect. Jenny was taken to court many times and had to fight for the right to keep Rocky. She agreed to put special housing and gates to ensure that Rocky could both roam free within the property and yet not roam around town. But Jenny still let Rocky loose, and when she got caught, the bobcat was ordered to be put in the local Popcorn Park Zoo for the rest of its life. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the pets that are absolutely dangerous to own, and yet people have owned them anyway? Are you surprised that people would want to go and have these animals as pets? Do you honestly see some of the appeal in having such creatures as a pet in your own home? Would you be bold enough to risk having one of them yourself? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.